What's up, y'all? What's up, YouTube? What's up, Xtreme Gainz family? I'm Chuck, and this is Xtreme Gainz. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is or ever will be financial advice. Please do not take it as such. Today is Sunday Fun Day Sunday, October 23rd, 2022, and this is my AMC Gme and SPY Algo Exposed weekly update and preparation video for tomorrow and beyond. I hope y'all had a great end of the week in the market on Friday. More importantly, I hope you made some extreme gains for yourselves. I'm going to go over all my regulars, my snake algo method for all three tickers, some macro comparatives, and some side-by-side projections from Thursday night's update and prep video and the fulfillment of those projections with Friday's price action. So with all of that said, let's dig in. I hope you are having a great weekend as well. I'm not going to waste any more of your time than I have to, so let's dive right into the charts without further ado. On your screen currently is AMC and my current intra-week snakes. AMC finished the day on Friday, regular trading hours, up 2.2%, and then up an additional 0.31% in after hours, ending the week trading at 651. The current intra-week snakes, red the day prior to, green the day of the previous divergence, and completed fulfillment of the previous intra-week snakes shown in blue. You can see once again on Friday, we continued to fulfill the day prior to as it was projecting. Here is the side-by-side from Thursday night's update and prep video. The location of price action within it, the projection from it, and the dead-on 100% candle-for-candle fulfillment of it with Friday's price action. You can see what the projection is from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill it. Now, I talked about potentially being able to identify the nuanced fulfillment throughout if price action were to continue to fulfill the day prior to as it is projecting. And the way I can do that is by taking the day of divergence, since in its straight up position was showing downside and essentially an invert mirrored projection away from the day prior to, put it in its mirrored position, and you can see what that nuanced or potential nuanced fulfillment may look like if this projection were to fulfill in that manner, differently from the day prior to. Obviously, there's a mirrored projection here, a mirrored projection there, and a mirrored projection there from them. So that is what I will be using for that, and for that reason, if price action were to continue fulfilling it. And that is everything that I am looking at from an intra-week snake perspective. The macro comparatives, as I discussed in previous update and prep videos, I am test running these two separate macro double bottoms from different places within the previous historical movement of AMC, macro to macro, 4 hour on 4 hour. You can see them both on here. We discussed them previously. You can see the location of price action within it and the continued fulfillment of them with Friday's price action. Here was the side-by-side from Thursday night's update and prep, the location of price action within it. The ultimate projection from it is downside. We did fulfill to the upside, short-term potential here if it were to reject and come back downside for continued fulfillment. That is the requirement for these to continue fulfilling in that position. So you can see what the projection is from them moving forward into tomorrow and beyond. Then the OG macro comparative from prior to the January 2021 run-up that I have been tracking on this channel forever. I pulled it off the channel for a little bit, and then I brought it back out most recently, or more recently, when we had the $5.45 bottom that I projected a year ago. So here we are within that. I talked about potentially two separate locations within this macro comparative. One, assuming that the bottom is in, that would put price action down here in that bottom. And you can see what the projection would be from it if price action were to continue to fulfill it in that position. Here's the side-by-side from Thursday's update and prep video, the location of price action within it, the projection from it, and then obviously the fulfillment of it would be the same, obviously. So you can see what that would have to be. The second position of this would be assuming that the bottom is not in and that we are in this check up location prior to the continuation to downside and a lower bottom fulfillment. And in that position, you can see where we're located within the macro comparative. Here is the side-by-side from Thursday night's update and prep video, the location of price action within it, the projection from it, and then the fulfillment of it here on your left. You can see what that projection would be or would look like moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill it. Now, from a technical perspective, we still have a descending level of resistance intact in here somewhat. So I would like price action to breach that to the upside. That would be my initial indication, obviously, to the neckline. And then I talked about the neckline of 680, I believe. Yes, 680 neckline to the upside will be my confirmation of potential continued fulfillment to the upside. Likewise, to the downside, we talked about the internal ascending level of support that price action is displaying right now. So that would be my indication to downside at around the 620 price level. A breach of that, I think, would bring continued downside fulfillment to that 563 critical level of support, and then an obvious breach of that for continued macro downside after that. So those are the levels: 521 or 520, and then 563 to downside, and 680 to upside on AMC. And that is everything that I am looking at with AMC. Up next is GME. GME finished the day on Friday up 3.65% in regular trading hours, and then down 0.36% in after hours, ending the week trading at 25.21. The current intra-week snakes on your screen: blue the day of divergence, red the day prior to. You can see that we continued to fulfill the day of divergence, the blue one, as it was projecting. I did make an adjustment to the day prior to, which I will show you why here in a second. Here is the side-by-side from Thursday night's update and prep video, the location of price action within it, the upside projection from it with the day of divergence, and the fulfillment of it here on Friday. You can see what the projection would be from it if price action were to continue to fulfill it moving into tomorrow and beyond. Now, as far as the day prior to, I reevaluated this. It wasn't looking right to me, so I went ahead and went back to the drawing board with this exact one that I have been using. In its straight up position, it originally displayed itself in a mirrored position. The bottom here, the peak of the bottom there, and the next double bottom in to the downside, all in the mirrored manner, right? And then we got mirrored fulfillment through this, mirrored fulfillment here, and now a potential convergence back with it in its straight up position. So in the straight up position, this is what the convergence would look like, and that's what the projection would look like from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond. And here's how that compares to the day of divergence. You can see that it's mirrored fulfillment essentially throughout the remaining part of it. However, if I wanted to replicate that price action and get the fulfillment out of it from this day prior to, I would put it in its mirrored position. And in its mirrored position, you can see how that lays on there, and it has fulfilled throughout its entire placement since its initial placement, just like the day of divergence. And you can see what the projection would be from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond in that position. So if I were to place these both in the position that gave the most fulfillment out of their projection since initial placement, this is the position that I would have them in. Blue in its straight up, the day of divergence, red the day prior to divergence, and it's mirrored. And that is how I am going to track them moving forward into tomorrow and beyond. From a technical perspective, levels that I am watching, I talked to you on Thursday night's update and prep video about price action being underneath this macro ascending level of support, and if it were to reject off of this, the expectation was a continued downside move. We did retake that ascending level of support, and the next level up that I talked about was the previous smaller W formations neckline over here at 25.25 or right around 25.25, between 25.25 and 25.30. We obviously are sitting right underneath that at 25.21 to close. It's showing 25.29, but my Webull close is saying 25.21. So it looks like, according to TradingView, 25.29. So we'll call it 25.30 will be that level for continued upside fulfillment, and then the ultimate macro neckline will be up here at 29.80 if and when price action were to fill that void and continue fulfilling to the upside. However, if it were to reject and we were to breach the macro ascending level of support at around the 24.80 price level back downside, that would be my macro confirmation of continued downside fulfillment. So that is, in a nutshell, everything that I am looking at with GME moving into tomorrow and beyond. Last but not least is SPY. SPY finished the day on Friday, regular trading hours, up a whopping 2.43% as projected, and then up an additional 0.33% in after hours, ending the week trading at 375.52. The current intra-week snakes are on your screen. Blue, the day of divergence. Red, the day prior to. I'll start with blue, the day of. We started off in its initial placement, straight up position with candle for candle fulfillment. Price action diverted away from it to the downside, fulfilled this next portion in a mirrored position with a potential convergence back with it. You can see what the projection would be moving forward into tomorrow and beyond. The day prior to started off in its straight up position, and you can see the candle for candle fulfillment out of it throughout since its original placement, and right where it was to breach that critical level of support to downside, it diverted and went mirrored to the upside away from that downside projection. So it required me to put this in the mirrored position. Upon doing so, this is where it put it right there. And you can see the fulfillment throughout it since its placement and what the projection was and how it fulfilled again on Friday. Here is the side-by-side from Thursday night's update and prep video. The location of price action within it. The upside only projection from it moving into Friday, and the 100% dead on fulfillment of it on Friday. You can see what the projection is from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill it. Then the macro comparative for SPY from the 08-09 correction and crash that I have been tracking on this channel for as long as I've had the channel. In its most recent position right here, and we had assumed through some process of elimination that the bottom to be potentially in over here, and since that assumption and placement, we have continued to track accordingly, essentially candle for candle throughout. You can see where we are at within that, the continued fulfillment of it with Friday's price action dead on as it projected. Here is the side-by-side from Thursday night's update and prep video. The location of price action within it, the only projection from it to the upside, and as I said, the dead on 100% candle for candle fulfillment of it with Friday's price action. You can see what the projection is from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill it. I showed you this in Thursday night's update and prep. I thought it was worthy to take note of, both the macro comparative and the day of divergence intra-week snake were both showing the exact same projection, and that is the fulfillment that we got here on Friday. Sorry about the phone ringing. Should have had it on vibrate. Anyways, you can see what that projection would be, like I said, moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill it. From a technical perspective, we have the macro double bottom in here, and we have started this grind up out of here. We do have a potential internal ascending level of support that you see there. The macro necklines, there's a lower and an upper location for that. The lower, and I just moved it, is around 375.45 will be that confirmation to upside fulfillment to that upper at 381.25, and then the macro third that I have sitting in here at around 387. So that's what I'll be looking at for levels to upside. 375.45, or I'm sorry, 375.02, which we're already above, 381.25, and then 387. Downside, if we reject off of one of these necklines, the next level down will be that internal ascending level of support at around 363.80 to the downside, and then the critical level of support back down here at 356. My friends, my family, that is everything I have for this video and everything I have that I am personally looking at for AMC, GME, and SPY moving into tomorrow and beyond. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you all very much. Do me a favor, don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. I will get an update and prep video out Tuesday after market close, and then we will be live streaming here on the channel on Wednesday all day starting at 9 a.m. Market down, set a reminder, make sure to come by and hang out with us, trade with us, bullshit with us, all that good shit on Wednesday. So take care, good luck in the markets tomorrow, make some extreme gains for yourselves, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will talk to y'all on the next one. Later.